And she used to wear white, the colour of good and purity and God, but now she wears black, the colour of death and depression, because she has chronic depression now.
Okay, before we get into the story discussion, Snake, come on and show your new items. Come on now, we know this is the section you love showing them.
No, that's it. I'm just like got my phone going for some Fire Emblem Heroes.
Oh,
also Basel. That's it. That's all there is to do.
I guess that means today I get to show the special item to surprise y'all here. We just got this done recently, and I think it's very cool. This is really something you're not gonna expect. Like, what the heck is this?
Everyone, prepare to be underwhelmed. Brace for disappointment.
I spent a very long. And just so you know, by the way, I made this like with my brother. We made this together.
That's cool.
It is like a painted moon that we did, and
wow.
it's also
yeah.
it's 3D too. You can like touch it. It's like on the surface, and it's also lights up like this.
It's a halo light. You can use it for your videos.
I'm considering hanging it in my room. You can turn off the lights, and it'll give like a different vibe. Let me see if I can. Oopsies. If you put it flat, it looks like a cake.
What you need to do, Sonic, is get little witch cutout to hang in front of it, like in the pit, where a little witch will fly across the moon. Or
also do Santa Claus. That would work too.
Oh, yo. Wasn't Look to La Luna a hint towards Reptile or something? Or was that from MK2?
Look to La Luna was Reptile.
What?
It's one of the hints about how to fight Reptile. So your boy here is like, here's a moon. Look to La Luna.
And that's part of your theme. You got to keep it in your room.
Interesting. I got it. Now I got it. This is forbidden knowledge for me. Now I got to keep this in mind. Can't believe you didn't know that. History,
as a reptile, buddy.
Stuff. I want to.
Or reptile stand.
Fake fan.
This is getting cut. This is getting cut right now.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna turn off the lights just to see what it looks like.
So if you cut this, Sonic, I'm gonna quit the podcast.
No, I can't see anything.
Snake, you can't threaten to leave every time we record, okay? You can't threaten to keep leaving like this.
But dog, if I don't threaten your livelihood, how will I get what I want?
What happened? What were you guys talking about?
Now,
I can't find the light.
You'll find out what we're talking about when you edit the podcast, Sonic person.
Did you just call me Sonic person?
Yeah, because I always called you dog.
I like that my shorthand is dog, not even true. Everyone else calls me true.
Well, a lot of people call me fourth. A lot of people call me fourth Snake. I'm like, just call me Snake.
They just call you fourth?
That's good.
That's very cute. Yeah. Okay, be prepared to be surprised.
It does look cool, yeah. It'd be a great Halo light.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Also, as you can see, you can't see the paint on it anymore. It's like it's a different look, basically.
It's like I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah,
I'm getting sleepy.
I see that snake.
It's so convincing as the real moon. I'm like, oh shit! Don't do that. It scared me a little bit.
Okay, I need this light to guide me. Just a second.
There's like certain things that everyone's like scared of for no reason. That's one of mine.
Here it is. I can see it. There we go.
I can see clearly now. The rain has gone. Oh, gotta stretch. Oh, I gotta be careful about that. I can injure myself stretching. I've gotten so old that if I exaggerate my stretches, I can hurt myself.
Okay. A bit of a detour there. Show you guys my cool.
You missed my weird sound effect.
That was fun. It just took 2 hours actually just to paint that whole thing and do this everything basically. It's a fun process. Yeah, and now we are ready to actually talk about Mortal Kombat stuff.
As we do.
So, let's go to the story mode and then we go to the invasion stuff.
Because Snake's favorite character returned.
We have a prologue and then we have a story mode. Well, let's not get to that. Let's start with Shang Tsung and then we get into the elephant in the room. What do you guys think about Shang Tsung as of right now, currently?
So, I'm the kind of person who, because I've always been...
But he has potential. That's how I feel.
The only part I didn't like was the cliche, like, sinister smile into the camera. It looked, like, way too obvious, which was weird to me because it implies that, like, evil is something that's, like, genetic. Like, Shang Tsung's evil no matter what. Even if he's not, like, evil right now, he's going to become evil.
He's fated
I don't
to
like
be
that
evil.
because everything else was cool. Like, I liked the flip because, like I mentioned before, I grew up reading comic books, and there's so many different iterations of the same character. So I like seeing a new take. And in this case, it's ironic because usually Shang Tsung is an old guy who can temporarily become young. And here it's the opposite. He's young, but he makes himself look old. So that's interesting. It's clearly a very clever flip on the writer's parts. And I will commend that little golf clap, because I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. It's kind of a clever... He's the master of disguise, but he doesn't have magic yet. So right now he's just doing makeup and wig. He's still a master of illusion and disguise, but it's like snake oil salesman and an actor, which is interesting.
I do worry about that, actually. The fact that he doesn't have his powers, and Kung Lao doesn't have his hat. I'm thinking, and Johnny doesn't have his shadow powers. So are we going to get an Arcana-esque, the heroes need to build up their powers through some bullshit thing? I hope not.
Why do you think the tattoos are in the game?
Tattoos, you're right.
Because the footage I saw didn't have the gameplay when I saw it. So
you just skip it. Okay.
So I don't know if what moves Kung Lao still has with his classic kit. Does
we'll get into that
about it.
basically.
Because it makes me worry. Are we going to only play as the nerfed version of Kung Lao in the story and then never get to use him with his full kit?
Don't know.
A Jax situation all over again, where we play as Jax in MK9, but we never get to use his robot arms.
Yeah, that was the example.
But I mean, it's not nerfed at least, you know? He at least still had the same moves. My thing with Shang Tsung is, first off, I like the voice. I mean, it's not Carrie, but I do think it's good.
I think Alan Lee's doing a really good impression of... It sounds close enough, like it feels... It's obviously not him, you can tell, but it sounds close enough that you hear it and go, yeah, this feels like the same character. So I appreciate that he does sound... He's trying... Unlike a lot of some of the other recasts, it is trying to be what the character was.
Similar.
Now, sometimes going for a different take is preferable, because we certainly don't want KG Tang to be talking like this times beyond. So there are times when that's fine, but I appreciate because how shit MK is at keeping a consistent voice cast, which is weird because Injustice is almost completely consistent for the two games. I appreciate that.
Not the movie, though.
There is an attempt at consistency even with a new actor, and Mr. Lee's doing a really good job so far.
Yeah, and then the one thing that I'll give my golf clap, because everything else I'm just kind of fine with Shang Tsung too. He has potential to be pretty great. I think the thing that kind of impressed me was like a bit of like a 1 second of me feeling a bit of sympathy for this guy, like this horrible human, outworld person. And also, it's not like he does anything good. He's like tricking a village of people and gets beat up for it and all that kind of stuff. The thing that made me sympathize him for like a bit is the fact that he's not doing this for like self-gain. He's not doing this to be malicious. He's doing this to survive. This is his only way he knows how to like make money and live in this like situation and stuff like that. And that made me feel like, oh, like you're still a horrible person, but that made me feel a little bit of sympathy for you, which is kind of impressive, because I don't think Shang Tsung is a person you can ever feel sympathy for. But yeah, a little moment right there.
Do we know what realm he's in?
It's Outworld, obviously, because like those villagers are wearing like the similar villager outfits with like...
I thought that too, but Snake's actually onto something. It could be Earthrealm. Yeah.
Oh?
It could be.
You think so?
No, it's not. It's not, because he mentions Tarkat as a disease, which is not in Earthrealm. Yeah, so it's Outworld.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. Good.
But this indicates that there are a lot of poor people in Sindel's Outworld. Yeah. Does she care?
Why the fuck is Shang Tsung in Outworld?
Maybe he's born there now.
Liu Kang
Maybe he's
change
an
stuff.
Outworlder
But see,
this time.
This is one more reason why.
That's the thing. Is like his origin changes all the time. He was originally obviously from Earth in MK1, and then I think it was changed to Outworld for MK2. And then somewhere along the lines it was established he was from Earthrealm originally, which I think was still consistent up till MK11. But now, who knows, he could be a native Outworlder. He could have still done the whole thing where he found his way to Outworld and bullshit happened. Maybe he was in a previous tournament. We don't really know.
But in this game he's just. And I want to add to
what Sonic was saying too. That's one more reason I hate the cliche evil grin zoom into the camera that implies he's super evil, because Shang Tsung's motivation in this game shouldn't even be like, I'm bad and sinister. His motivation would be more like revenge after learning that not only did Liu Kang stop him from having like his status as like one of the top people in Outworld, but also Liu Kang didn't even give him anything else to compensate. He just made him like a beggar. He could have like made him like, born into a rich family or adopted by somebody. He could have had like a noble adopt him. He's a god. He could be like, hey, this child, it's yours now. Lord Liu Kang says so. He just left Shang Tsung to rot. So Shang Tsung has a lot of reason to be pissed off at Liu Kang. That's just more of like a revenge story and not so much like I want to be evil.
Well, here's the thing though. Liu Kang literally wanted to erase him.
I'm saying from Shang Tsung's perspective. I'm saying pretend you're Shang Tsung and you learn that you were once this great person and you might have been evil, but even if you don't know that, you're like, wow, this guy who has godly power purposely made me into a beggar and took away all my status. Fuck this guy. Like, I hate him.
Yeah. Oh, if you think of it that way. Yeah,
well,
perhaps.
Here's a thing, though, I just thought of. So, Shang Tsung is now this feeble, pathetic man as a result in this altered in this altered timeline created by someone who got Kronika's crown. We've heard this before. It was called MK Legends Snowblind.
Yeah.
Is he going to go out like is he going to go out like a bitch again here?
He can't. He's the pre-order bonus. He can't.
Okay. Well, here's the thing though. Before we get into that, let's to be fair, the Band-Aid.
Khan went out like a bitch in MK11.
Blinded.
Yeah, that's true. But
he didn't
let's
die.
Rip off the
he was
Band-Aid.
just blinded, but he did go out like a bitch.
Just blinded. Thanks for reminding me after 3 freaking years. Still. Let's rip off the Band-Aid and let's just get right into it. Random hooded lady shows up to offer...
I can't believe they got a combat nun in this game. It's so weird.
A combat
She does look oddly nun-like.
Yeah. You know, ironically, despite that, I still think this new design of her looks better than what we got before. It does. It looks kind of cool.
Like it feels like it somewhat fits with MK, whereas the other one felt like it was some weird Destiny bullshit or something. But this actually feels like it fits in the world better. And I wonder, maybe she actually does have this disguise as a nun.
It'd be interesting. That'd be crazy, man.
But just for people who didn't see the footage, because I don't think they actually said it's Kronika. Kronika's back.
They don't say it. They don't say it.
They do make sure to zoom in really close on her eyes. Now, to be fair, from a distance, I was like, I was so in like, it wasn't even on my radar that Kronika could even return. So I was like guessing in my reaction like who it could be, which is gonna go live in like 20 minutes. I was trying to guess. I'm like, is this Countess Jade? Could be so weird. This is Countess Jade, but it's not quite green. I'm like, it's fucking Kronika. The eyes are blue. Yeah.
The thing with me is the fact that I got spoiled on it because someone on Twitter asked me what I thought about it.
That's why I stay off Twitter.
Someone on my Twitter asked about what you thought about it too.
Like, guys, please don't do that. If we have something to say, we'll say it on the podcast or in our own videos. Don't spoil
I literally
it for
got
us.
like message about like leak. I wasn't completely shocked about Kronika because like there's been leaks keep on popping up, and then there was apparently a very horrible leak that happened recently. I didn't look into it. All I know is that Kronika is in that leak. So now that I see her, I'm like, oh shit, is this that horrible leak that I tried to avoid? But I did see like something in it that made me really like barf inside. Like,
I have heard that this leak has a lot of story details, and that some of it is.
And somebody posted that crap in my YouTube video. Don't do that. It's one thing to DM or tweet about it. Don't spoil everybody who watches. There's like 60,000 people watching that video, and if they read your comment, they've gotten spoiled. Don't do that. Now, hopefully they're wrong, because I had someone who tried to predict or someone who claimed they knew the ending of MKX,
I really hope.
And I was upset at the spoiler because the ending actually sounded really cool, and the ending for MKX was something like this. It was like, oh, the reason you see the clouds swirling around and looking all red and sinister is because Rain actually takes over and gets the power of like Shinnok and the amulet, and so Rain is causing like a giant thunderstorm. And I was like, that's such a cool twist. That's so fucking cool. I'm mad that you spoiled that, but it was all wrong. The sky just got dark because evil man in power, and now like dark clouds. Yeah.
But the sky got red because that's what happens in DC Crisis stories.
A lot of DC stuff getting borrowed. I will say though, a different leak. This is not a story one. So, do you want to go first? Is it? You want to?
Okay, I was gonna give opinions about Kronika. So, are you? Is this?
Well, here's a question. Have you two been like seen leaks?
That's what I was going to talk about. Yeah. So there was out of all the leaks I've seen,
I've not. Because I was just pondering. Do you think Kronika is going to be one of the last
the
few
final
fighters.
character.
It's interesting you should bring that up, Snake, because
I think she'd be a fighter, though. Honestly,
I would assume so, because we never played as her in the last game. It'd be weird to bring her back and still not have her playable.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, Snake, because I followed several leaks just out of curiosity, because there's only like 4 characters left, right?
Okay.
But on the Thinny's channel, he only like posts the ones that are legit, like the leaks that have been 100% right so far. And of the one leak that's been 100% right so far, there's 1 slot missing, and no one knew who the remaining character was. It's been an actual mystery.
Hidden.
And since Kronika is no longer Titan status, clearly, it's very possible that we do finally get a playable version of Kronika, which sounds really interesting, and I'm here for it. That would be the only silver lining.
I'm here for
That's the only
playable.
silver lining of Kronika coming back in the story is that I want to play as her.
Perhaps, I can see what they do.
There's that. There's 3. We can play as her. We can leg sweep her to death, like all good MP
finally
let us do.
Finally.
And 3, that's your new fatality puppet.
Oh, because she bleeds blue, you think? Still, she probably bleeds red now.
Well,
I mean, she might be mortal.
She always bled red.
Oh, then why is she the combo puppet?
No, dog.
Oh, because he
He
hates
meant,
her.
like, you can constantly kill Kronika. Yeah. I got that on Twitter too. People be like, you know what, Kronika being playable doesn't sound too bad. I can do all the fatalities on her.
Actually, so far, is Reptile Reptile's green blood, right? Still.
He does. That's why he's the monetizable safe blood guy.
So is he the only character who doesn't have red blood now? So far,
unfortunately,
because
it seems like.
I mean, it would be Garrus, but they even got rid of Garrus's blue blood early on in Mortal Kombat 11.
Red.
Yeah, so his blue blood went away.
Yeah.
Still baffles me why. Just like more blood color is fun. I like the blood color mode in MK9.
I'm gonna bring it back one more time, just because in case people didn't know this. If you watch the really early access gameplay of MK11, like when I was at the reveal event, and you could play Scarlet, she was one of the 3 or 4 characters you could play. Scarlet's blood attacks actually changed color based on your opponent's blood. So when you were fighting Garrus, all of her weapons were blue, and it was really cool. And then for some reason that went away. Now if you fight like RoboCop and stuff, it's still always red. And I'm like, dang it! It was so cool that it was implied she's fighting with the enemy's blood, and that's why it was like changing color during the fight and stuff. Oh well.
I will suck your oil.
Why, what?
It's like,
but I'm not married yet.
Because now more than ever, it's important to have the different blood colors for content creators. Like, have different blood colors.
No, they don't care about
characters.
that.
I know
they still don't.
Sadly,
they really. That's the weird thing. That like you see stuff like how Dog mentioned this in one of his recent videos where he's talking about at that event, and you got to meet Ed Boon briefly, and Ed Boon's there and he's saying how this is something that other fighting game developers don't do. They don't meet the fans and that. And it's like, it seems weird that these same people, Ed's like, hi, how you doing, Twitch streamer? And like, you're not going to put in alternate blood colours or options to help those streamers out so they can make a living, Ed?
I mean, turning off blood would be the easiest feature.
It's been getting harder
and
recently,
it'd be easier
too.
to do now than ever because there's not crushing blows anymore. So all you'd have to do is turn off blood, which is an easy feature, I imagine, to actually put in. Just tell the code not to run blood physics. And then for the fatal blows, just have it, like, not show it. Like, it just shows, like, the actual hit, and then like, they just take big chunk of damage. And then that's it.
Something like that.
Well, you might be able to get away with it by just having it just go full grayscale.
Well, I mean, I can fix that part myself anyway. I don't really...
Oh, you mean like how YouTubers
I think
do it now?
MK1's going to be pretty easy to not get demonetized. I've avoided it so far, so I'm not super worried. There's not crushing blows every 10 seconds like there was in freaking 11, dude. There was so many. And I forgot how many there were because I would do training mode stuff. And in training mode, you just don't do the crushing blow. But then when I had to actually record online matches, I'm like, man, this is a lot of work to comb through the whole video and make sure I didn't miss a crushing blow somewhere. But yeah, you're right. Though there should be a feature to change blood color, make it confetti if you want to. That should all be in there, like Happy Birthday for the grunts in Halo, but it's character blood. Like that'd be awesome. Yeah. But
or make it all water physics. So it's all like sweat, like in MK1.
Everyone's just really sweaty, like Dead or Alive. They're just really sweaty. It's kind of weird. They never. I guess it would just be too much to put on the character because they're already covered in blood. But it is kind of funny that in the series known for its hyper realism, I don't recall the characters ever getting sweaty and having like sweat physics and stuff, which would have been cool.
They did in MKX, didn't they? Yeah,
sweaty.
Because I'm sure, like most
I think
of the
you're
time,
right. They did have like water on there, but it was like kind of like just a texture thing.
Especially in rain stages, right?
They look
like
all
Raiden's
shiny.
Temple, like they're super wet.
Yeah,
looks oily.
But I'm pretty sure the characters do actually
Shiny,
sweat in MKX, and then for some reason, a lot of like not like. Remember MK9 had all the battle damage? They don't do that anymore. Like ever since X is stopped,
nope.
X has sweat. 11 has nothing. I think maybe dirt carries or something, but that's about it. Like, but they get more detailed about. They get more detailed on the innards, but then the stuff that's outside the normal combat stuff, they take away all the detail. We can't even interact with the stage normally anymore.
Combat damage is very cool, especially in MK9.
And then that little table in Johnny Cage's mansion apparently regularly doesn't spawn in properly, and so it's like the legs are just cold out. Like, what is happening, guys?
The blood splatter does stay on the character. I remember Kung Lao's I remember I saw Kung Lao's victory pose where he grabs his hand and cuts the flower pellets in front of him. But the first time I saw it was his lips were covered in blood, so it looks like he's lipsticks on. Cuts the flower pellets.
And the blood splatter and one looks really good. Like in MK1 when the match is over and you look at the blood splatter, it looks like an actual murder 11, scene happened. It's tiny little specks of blood in some spots. You're like, dang, that's some good research there to how blood splatters and stuff. But yeah, anyway, sorry. Back to the story stuff.
The engine is really strong.
One thing, actually, I wanted to add one thing that I forgot. Did anybody else think the random guy accusing Shang Tsung might be an early Shao Kahn or something before he gets his horns? Because I briefly thought that just because he sounds like him. Shang Tsung!
Oh, that's cute.
You, got my daughter to die. And I was like, is this early Shao Kahn? I don't think it is, but he sounds a lot like him.
I don't think so.
The voice did bug me because, that, and I'm sure I've heard that voice before, but I can't place it. I just can't figure out who it is. It does sound familiar.
So, when I initially saw, Kronika back, at first I was thinking, okay, shit, the leak. But then the other thing I was just thinking, I kind of did like this. It's this is really that one thing. Even now, I posted, even when I don't post about Kronika, right now on my Kronika Sucks video, I have a bunch of people in comments being you're not gonna like the first thing in MK1, Santa.
Don't do that. Don't do stuff like that, guys.
They can't be stopped. They're always gonna...
Yeah, I wasn't spoiled. I saw it immediately when it came out because everybody posted their MK1 story related footage.
See, what I like about you, Sonic, is the way you tweeted about it was you showing the thumbnail and be having a really vague comment about it. Whereas I feel like that's the kind of thing where if you don't already know, you're not just going to figure it out from that. You're not going to be spoiled by it. If you know the context, you know exactly what's going on. But if you don't have the context, then it's just, what the fuck is this dude talking about? I don't know. So I appreciate that. They didn't just go,
thank you.
Haha, Kronika back, spoil everyone. I mean, I know it's I know it's literally the opening cutscene of the game, so some people would probably argue it's not a spoiler because it's so early. But some people just want to go into a story completely blind.
Yeah, and what was it? That tweet's about to get 1,000 likes. Pretty happy about that. But yeah, my mind was going through the whole entire oh shit, here we go again. Really, and not only that, I was thinking, is she gonna be different? No, she's doing the exact same thing she did with Jax. Oh, you were supposed to be for greatness. Work with me.
Which is interesting.
This is the exact same shit as MK11.
It is the same.
Really? Yeah. But yeah, I want to wait until the game is out to fully judge it. But yeah, I don't know. I have Kronika racisms with me. I'm sure many people do. It's just seeing her on the damn screen again. It's just we just did this. It's have you not been hearing all the complaints about how lame she is? It's ugh.
But then, tragedy struck. True Underdog accidentally deleted 90 minutes of his own recording. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut this episode short. But I'll still try to finish our Kronika conversation.
I do appreciate the voice actress because it's not Jennifer Hale. That's obvious.
I noticed that. It's similar.
Much like with Shang Tsung, there is an attempt, unlike with Tanya, Jennifer Hale's other character, who is just black woman.
A new character,
That's just how she sounds. She sounds like...
Very different.
She's so generic. Whereas Tanya had a very, very distinct sound in MKX that was really distinct from the rest of the cast. But now it's just generic. So. But whereas with Kronika, there is an attempt to make the character sound consistent with the prior version.
Yeah. I do like her new design a bit more. I do think that the boob armor looks weird. If you guys can check that out. It's this middle part makes it look like her boobs are being like separated, like drastically. Other than that, like, I'm not happy, but we'll see. We'll see where this goes, I guess.
As long as her gameplay is cool, I won't mind.
Yeah, sure. Like, let's see how she plays.
I have chronic depression.
Chronic depression. I think this outfit looks better than Sindel's. Hot take.
Why does she got rope tied under her boobs? But why is Kronika, of all characters, the one whose face looks the most consistent with the last game? Right?
Well, her and Geras probably. Like, I think that's a hint of saying, like, oh, she's from the past.
And she used to wear white, the colour of good and purity and God, but now she wears black, the colour of death and depression, because she has chronic depression now.
Hey, you guys say that, I'm not gonna lie, that still makes her, like, better than, like, half the costumes we currently have in the game, at least. Like, it's still, yeah.
The thing about Kronika is that the first thing we see in this story is Shang Tsung and Kronika. Two characters I think should not have been in this game at all because of the way MK11 ended. Like, MK11's main villain is Kronika, and it ends with Shang Tsung's ultimate plan failing and him being erased. So those two characters should have sat this game out. The fact that they're back makes it feel like this new era is not a new era. It's still the Netherrealm era continuing on. Because the plot points for most of the characters, even the stuff that's new, is still just reworked versions of old stuff. And then here it's just directly carrying on. Here's the villains from the last game making a deadly alliance, how clever, to go up against the guy who won the last game. So it's not a fresh start. You need to have seen MK11 to understand this. You need to know that game's story to be able to understand what the hell's happening in Mortal Kombat 1. The game named that way because it's meant to be a fresh jumping on point. But it's not a fresh jumping on point. It's a direct sequel. So
honestly, yeah.
This whole project is just so bafflingly done. I just don't understand what exactly they're really going for with it anymore.
I'm a poopy farty do poopy pants.
Overall, so usually I start from a neutral point, maybe like start from a 6 out of 10 rating whenever I go into a story mode or in a movie. Kronika's involvement in this has already like just cut a point, or maybe 2. Yeah. You got to work your way up now, NRS, to make me like the story, just because you have Kronika in your game now, in your story mode at least. Look, and also Trinidad, like, I would agree, like, a mortal version of Kronika being playable has potential. Like, from a gameplay standpoint, okay. From a story standpoint, she should be a DLC guest character.
thing is, this raises the question now. Is this the final piece of the puzzle, Kronika, to explain how the hell Takeda is here? Because Takeda makes no sense currently.
Yeah, but I don't really think you need Kronika. You just need Fire God Liu Kang to explain why Takeda is here.
Sure, but I'm wondering, is it going to be that Kronika somehow is responsible for him being here because of the time stuff?
So, let's get to Chapter 1, which I will say, overall, it's kind of fun. It's like a little silly action movie intro kind of feel to me.
I can't take it anymore. Editing this without dog is too hard for me. I'm ending the episode. Pee pee poo poo sach face pepe la mau. Pee pee poo poo.